want to see some of that draft adaptation coming out here as well, as looking towards the ban phase, as Indecisive going to be on as Team Immune, as a losing team, opt to go for second pick this time, so they will be on red side for this game, and Indecisive with the first pick and the first ban as well. I'm wondering what direction they are going to take with this ban. So we're going to still see some pretty standard bans, or maybe have maybe a bit more target, as a Rampage could be the first one.
Yeah, I think that answers your question.
Yeah,
just
it does
a
a bit.
Rampage instantly banned. So, like, this is probably just going to be the response with Kwang being banned away. We've seen him go through, though, before. OPD did that against Indecisive, and they ended up paying for it. And now we see Saros being banned. So, there's going to be the Richter or the Kwang being picked up by Indecisive, potentially in the first rotation.
Well, looking to which way they want to go, and immediately the Kwang has been dominating almost every single game we've been seeing as Kwang off lane and jungle. So Indecisive have got their options available for where this Kwang goes, but of course that leaves the Richter still available for Shynn if they want to take it, and also leaving that Belica, the Decker. So we actually didn't even mention about the Decker as well. Another one of these picks that has been such it's been so impactful in all of these sets throughout this entirety of Fangbooth. Went through that entire draft, and no one even decided to pick it.
Yeah, Decker, kind of falling off lately. We see teams prioritizing the Belica and the Richter over it, especially the Richter that we see Immune picking up. Richter just such a volatile sort of hero. He just needs to hit one of those hooks, and he is just going to make the dual lane unplayable for the enemies. But I think with the Richter, it's going to be interesting to see what Immune wants to pick together with that.
Yeah, and hoping as well, that Shynn, we're assuming this is going to be Richter going into the hands of Shynn for game number 2. He's already had a game to get his aim on as well. He was hitting the hooks later on, but it did take a little bit of time for that connection to come through. They're going to go for the Gideon as well. I know this is what a mid laner pick that Empti is much more well known for. It's kind of one of his signature picks.
Yeah, Gideon definitely one of Empti's most favorite heroes against the Belica. Should be a decent lane as well, but remember, Belica could still be in the support role, but also the Richter could also go still into jungle. We know Shana likes to do that, especially if they have hard CC lockdown on their dual lane. So if they were to pick another Decker or something, that's always a good way to enable that Richter to just do more. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Indecisive still has one more pickup. It's going to be the Gadget Gideon lane. One of those really interesting lanes.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a snooze fest. Not expecting much to happen inside of that lane. But actually, with these fights, and honestly, if game one's anything to go by, is that both of these teams absolutely love to brawl. It's going to be the value out of that Tesla Dome. I mean, TehAssid in game number 1 with the Gideon plays as well. Those black holes so crucial in the later fights. So I wanted to see if Empti can provide the same as well. And also that Tesla Dome in some of those pits, Indecisive, TehAssid having that moment in the semi-finals as well. Beautiful combinations. They have got that with ManQ on the Belica. But this is now the Sevrog pick being selected here for Team Immune. Bondrewd getting one of his signatures.
Yeah, Bondrewd known for the Sevrog. They ban away the Feng Mao. They're still not sure where the Kwang is going to go, if it's going to be the offlaner or if it's going to be the jungler. We know Nyzah likes to play it. We know Morose is going to be likes to play it, excuse me. And for the side of Indecisive, they still have a second ban up. So now we might be getting an ADC ban, but that's not been happening so far in this tournament.
Yeah, ADC is going to be allowed once again into the latter stages of this draft. Narbash going to be the takeaway from Shynn in that duo lane as well. So wondering where the Team Immune want to go with this draft. ADC still needs to be secured, and also that jungler as well. But Nefty getting one of his signature picks now. The Wraith is going to be picked up for Team Immune, and now Indecisive with the last 2 picks need a bit of a front line to provide and to go against this Richter and Sevrog. They're going to go for the crunch actually into that jungle.
Yeah, into the jungle or still into the offlaner. Crunch can still be played in both roles, so can Kwang, so it makes it really hard for Immune to really draft against it. I'm almost expecting the crunch to go into jungle though, but honestly, it's completely up to whatever Immune is gonna pick next. But now we're looking at the ADC of Indecisive, and it's just gonna be Kira.
And this is going to be a takeaway from Cabodani as well. I think Cabodani had a pretty solid game on that Kira pick, all things considered. It was only that last team fight where he got picked off early. that he wasn't able to have any impact. But of course, that was a trade for Neft as well in that game deciding team fight, and Team Immune going to take the Greystone away from Nyzah and wanting to give that most likely into the hands of... I'm guessing this is going to go into another jungle Greystone, do you think, Tang?
This is honestly pretty hard to tell, but I think with no support being picked up, the Richter is probably gonna go there, and then we have the Sevarog in the offlane with the Greystone probably jungle. Those two could flip around though, but that's probably most likely. But for the side of Indecisive, pretty hard to tell.
Well, it's time to find out. Twitch chat, you have both of your drafts completed. Let us know, where do your allegiances lie? Who is going to take game 2? Do Indecisive move towards championship points and a back-to-back Fangtooth title? Or do Team Immune make this a grand finals to remember and tie up the series 1 apiece? We're going to find out. Team Immune going to be on blue side for this one. Indecisive on red side. So nothing changed from the perspectives. But we're having a look towards that tab screen. Where do these members want to be as well? Just having a little look around. So for the side of Team Immune, Bondrewd taking Sev into the off lane. And that means Shana going to be piloting that Greystone.
Yeah, Shana on that Greystone wants to make Indecisive feel what he felt last game. We also see Quang being picked up by Nyzah with the Crunch. In Morose's hand, that was one of his favorites a long time ago. Crunch kind of fell out of favor in that offlane. He did get reduced healing compared to the beginning of the game. He also can't heal off of lane minions anymore. So that's sort of a big nerf for him. Now we're spectating Nefty on that dual lane, definitely looking to do some damage.
Yeah, I'm really appreciating the cinematic camera that we've got going. Can we have a shout out, please, to Cynic, who's been operating the camera and has been doing a fantastic job throughout this entire tournament. Thank you, Cynic. Really appreciating that. I love the drone cams, but of course, we've got a laning phase to look at, and with what we saw from game number 1, expecting that explosivity once again. And I'm looking towards this Quang in the jungle role as well, looking to provide that setup, Indecisive, bringing some nasty combinations in those 2v2s wherever Nyzah decides to gank, as Shynn going to throw that first Riplash out, but not going to find the mark.
Not gonna find the mark, but interesting to note is that Nyzah started up his red side. In the games against Import's Backpack, he always started on the blue side, especially when he started with that Quang. So Immune doesn't quite know which jungle side he is on at the moment. So both sides kind of need to be scared right here.
You can just see that ward as well on the third camp in the red side jungle. So as Nyzah is just about to walk over it, that should give all the information that Team Immune needs. You see Empti immediately backing away and moving towards that right-hand side, knowing where Nyzah is. Riplash from Shynn. Can't find Cabodani. A bit of breathing room on that one. Cabodani's going to be still safe as well. It feels very tense at the moment here, Tack.
It almost feels like Immune didn't really register the first game that they could lose. Now with them being 1-0 down, it's certainly a different game. So they are kind of playing more safe, more respectful. But at the same time, it was kind of Nyzah doing the play. Shynn keeps on fishing, doesn't really get anything off of it. But 2 minutes 50, it's going to be river buff spawning. Any second now, Nyzah is going to contest the right one.
Yeah, as you can see that Shana is still in the jungle now, making the move over towards it. So this will be able to help out TehAssid get that right-hand side river buff. Shana just making the presence known, farming up that blue side. And say with tension in this one as Nyzah moving towards the right-hand side, but Morose has been pushing Bondrewd under tower, so not really wanting to risk the early tower dive, especially 3 minutes and 20 seconds into the game. But, Bondrewd still has to be careful, though, as actually he's able to push up. Empti, TehAssid starting to duel as well inside of the mid lane. TehAssid does not have much mana as Empti is able to push him back as well. Still looking towards right side, still looking towards where Nyzah is as well. Bondrewd having to be so careful, but Nyzah's wasting a lot of time here.
Nyzah wasting a lot of time. Meanwhile, we see Bondrewd getting engaged on now. Morose hitting the stun together with the knocker by Quang.
Yeah, Phantom Rush is going to come out, going to buy a bit of breathing room. Bondrewd still had the blink. We do not have first blood just yet, so no resource has been burnt. That means that Morose is able to pile on the pressure once again on the right-hand side, but Nyzah shows right, and that means that Shana is able to move into the red side jungle. It's going to catch these jungle captains respawning off their timers once again, and with this dual lane finally pushed under their tier 1 tower, a bit of a reverse from that game one. Shynn still looking for the Riplashes, but it's just going to score the field goal with that one straight between the middle. ManQ hitting the seismic assault and Cabo hitting the damage down. Nefty's level 4 though, looking to throw a lot of damage out from those knock-knocks.
Yeah, surely one of these times it gotta connect though, but sadly it's not this time quite yet. Shana just resetting there in the uh, shadow wall, just making sure to be there in case of Nyzah rotating over, but Shynn misses another one, is out of mana, and they're just gonna reset, take the gold buff for themselves. That's what they did earlier, and now we see the dual lane being back to normal. We see Empti in the mid lane, forcing out the reset from TehAssid a bit earlier. Now we see 5-minute timer, so there's gonna be river buffs to be contested.
Yeah, Empti does have to be careful, but he is able to really secure that with the Cosmic Breach. Green buff going to be scored on that right-hand side. We have got the ability power, that's pink buff on the left-hand side. Not been taken by either mid lane just yet. It looks like Empti's going to go for the completionist route. He's actually got both river buffs in his back pocket. The mana regen really keeping Empti in this lane, and TehAssid having to weather the storm a little bit, but we were expecting this to be a bit of a snooze lane inside of the mid lane. It hasn't disappointed just yet.
Yeah, but important to know is that TehAssid backed before. Meanwhile, Empti is still on his starter items, but now Nyzah looking towards the mid lane.
He's going to look for the play on towards Empti. Teva is going to connect the surge and knock up. The damage coming down. Not really got the burst. Black hole comes out, but Shana getting their presence down with the blink follow on towards Nyzah. The AoE starting to chunk, and Nyzah, the surge just comes back online. Shynn with the Riplash. Not going to find it. So close to a first blood, and yet so far.
Yeah, it was really close. Shana almost killing the Kwang as well, but Kwang uses the dash to get away. Now Cabodani is a bit pushed up, but probably not too afraid of Shin's hooks so far. So he is going to be safe, pushing that wave in. Nefty just collecting that farm under tower. But I think after that level 6, I think we're going to see a bit more action for them when Neft can secure those skewers with his rewind ability. It's certainly going to be more interesting. But now we see just more trading in that offlane.
Yeah, I said with the trading, the move, just junglers making their move towards this lane. Shynn coming from behind the shadow curtain as well. ManQ gonna actually force the blink, and that's Bellica blink down. Cabodani still getting a lot of damage on towards Nef, looking to proc it with the dusk. Nef is able to get behind the column. Heavy trading, as you say, from both of these side lanes. Both teams dancing with death. But death has not came for either of them just yet. We're still 0-0, 7 minutes about to spawn. That mini prime will be available. Fangtooth still on the board. We look again to the jungler Shynn, trying to make another play from behind the shadow curtain, but he doesn't know he's actually been sitting on a ward the whole time. And Shana here as well. So maybe Shynn needing to find this Riplash, but Indecisive. They had all the heads at play. Let's back away, but now a bit of an invade into the red side.
Bit of an invade. Together with the gold buff spawning, they're gonna take that for themselves once they know the Shana is actually there. Kwang is meanwhile on the other side of the map, trying to play around his win conditions as well. Gonna take the 5 camp away from Shana on the other side of the map. Also red buff. It's probably gonna spawn, but good knock up by the Bellica onto Shynn, but Shynn misses the Riplash again, and in the end it's just a lot of nothing happening.
Yeah, just a whole lot of nothing at this point. ManQ's blink being the only real resource burned at this point. We had having the potential in both of these lanes, can be kill lanes for sure, especially in the side lanes. But of course, Bondrewd, force under tower. Morose is able to just pile on that pressure. Mid lane is the snooze lane, and that left-hand side seems to be where there's going to be a little bit more action. As Shana making another rotation. ManQ doesn't have the blink, but seismic assault setback going to come out though, and ManQ's got to be careful. Going to try and sidestep on a knock. Nefty just needs to connect the shot, but Shana's going to be there to provide. There's a kill, but now Cabodani looking for the proc on towards Shynn. Can't find it. He actually dashed forward, and now Shana's just going to run him down under the tower. Disaster for Indecisive. They're going to lose their duo lane.
Yeah, just Shynn not hitting the Riplash but on purpose, so Cabodani overextends and gives his kill over for free. Meanwhile, Empti just taking a bit of trade by Nyzah that has no kill pressure at all, because I'm looking at Empti's build again, and that guy loves his tanky mid laners these days. Just going for the orb again as a first item on the Gideon. We see TehAssid sort of going a normal build, probably gonna be Mega Cosm, also starting up with that rod in order to stack that mana. But all in all, 30 CS lead for the side of Immune, but pretty even game so far.
Yeah, so with that action only coming recently in that duo lane once again, but this Greystone in the jungle for game 1 was able to secure first blood, and game 2 finding the same once again. You see the Indecisive, still have to play with the respect as well, maybe being a little bit too over-eager. And of course, with that Wraith in the hands of Nefty as well, that setback really did live up to its name. Shynn dropping down. All eyes on the Victor once again as he's taking a lot of damage. But not going to fish for the hook just yet. Again, a whole lot of nothing, but 10 minutes in, this has been a very patient game being played by both of these teams.
Yeah, very patient. I think once those of Fangtooth, once those objective timers come up, it's a different story. But ManQ looking for something. Level 6 to level 5.
Yes, as we saw, actually goes wide, but Shana is going to be here, leading with the Stone for Soul. Riplash connects from Shynn on towards ManQ. Doesn't have the blink. He's now stuck, and Nefty is going to be given this kill once again in the hands of this Wraith. The minions will finish him off, but Nefty is the one who cashes in on that kill. 3 kills to 0, the complete opposite of game number 1.
Yeah, complete opposite. And we can see that Neft is so much more confident on that Wraith compared to the TB, especially in this matchup particularly. Like, we can see him just poke out the enemy laner so well. And then with Shynn, like, granted, not hitting all of those Riplashes, but at least hitting that one to secure the kill onto the Bellica. As we see the tap screen, but we also see Immune start up that Fangtooth.
Well, with that priority as well, it's taken 10 minutes, but Indecisive not really in a position to contest at this point. There's a Fangbooth here, Shana, but Nyzah and ManQ on the way here. Shana does not really have the Stone for Soul as well. Knock up with the Tether, with the Surges. What are going to try and burn down Shana, but he just simply blinks away. Cabodani, Nef with a 1 versus 1 on the left-hand side, but Nef is one hitting the damage, and Nef finds the killing blow. Nyzah still tanking up that Fangtooth once again, and that is going to go the way of Indecisive. They lose Cabo, but pick up that first Fangtooth.
Yeah, that's definitely a worthy play for them, though. Like, they lose a bit of farm as well in the mid lane and in the duo lane, but in the end, it's still the Fangtooth's collected. As we see Empti getting engaged on by Morose, is pretty tanky. He has the orb complete already. Is gonna recoil to get his crest as well. Usually, as the Gideon, you like to go either the Soul Bearer or the Time Flux for more damage, but with a tanky build like that, I'm almost expecting the Soul Bearer to come out. Meanwhile, TehAssid just going for the Mega Cosm. So more damage on the side of Indecisive, but more tankiness for the side of Immune in terms of mid laners.
Yeah, and speaking of the mid lane, Ultimate's going to be traded, but Empti's the one in trouble as this gadget is stuck inside, and that's going to be him going down. Shynn hitting that Riplash, and Empti is the one who escapes. The tankiness does live up to its name, and that's going to be Empti keeping himself alive on sub 100 HP.
Yeah, Empti was debating whether he should back, but I think he had like a bit of an item almost being completed, so he decided to stay and bait the gadget into a forced sense of security. Microwave being used, so was the black hole. So those objectives, those ultimates are going to be down for the next objective, which might be the mini prime. We see Shana make a move towards the off-lane.
Morose got to be careful here, just currently duking it out with Bondrewd. I think Bondrewd was the one who actually secured it, and now with Shana making their presence known, Morose is one who has to get away. One forward crunch already used. Gonna try and duke it out. Doesn't have the other one. Forces the blink away, but Nyzah is here on the right-hand side. Meanwhile, on the left, Nefty with the setback. He's got his Vanquisher completed. Shynn with the blink, but not finding a Riplash. But Knock still finding their mark. Cabodani doing what they can, trying to duke, but there's nowhere of getting away from Nef's Wraith.
And not getting away, but is Nyzah gonna get away? Bondrewd tries to tower dive this, but with the shield, he is gonna live. But in the meanwhile, Shana goes down, and we see TehAssid going for Bondrewd. They might catch him.
Yeah, Morose was able to take down Shana, and now, of course, the gadget is here. Forward crunch not going to find the mark. Bondrewd with the Soul Siphon, trying to get the healing, but the sticky mine is on his head, ticking down to his demise as Indecisive, able to at least answer back. But Empti ruling the roost in this mid lane. He sees TehAssid right-hand side, so he pushes in and takes down the tier 1 tower mid.
He takes down the tower, so all in all, 2 kills over to the side of Indecisive, but they get the tier 1 instead for Immune. But TehAssid now in a bit of a world of hurt. Empti has a movement buff as well. It's gonna look to cut him off. TehAssid's gonna get hit with one of those tether connects, and also the ultimate is gonna be inside the microwave. But with a tanky build like that, Empti's not even taking damage. Blink away from TehAssid, dodging Shynn's hook. Richter is such a strong hero, but if you connect those hooks, he would be even stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. But Shynn, those hooks, when they have landed, have resulted in deaths for Team Immune. And now Morose is back from base, full HP, full mana, and full of rage as well in his left-hand side. But Empti is the Gideon. Very slippery, very tanky, as we've said with his builds, able to get away. Shynn making plays towards the right-hand side. Cabodani collected a bit of the farm in the mid lane, and Bondrewd on the left-hand side getting a bit of solo XP and also going to get himself a solo tower.
Yeah, that solo tower would feel really good on Bondrewd. Doesn't quite get it in this
Nearly.
rotation. He sees Cabodani come with the wards being placed in the river, but now we see a lot of build-up on that other side of the map where the mini prime is. The only objective in the game, we see Morose pushing down the tier 1, actually get that though on the other side of the map, but Empti is close by.
Yeah, Morose actually going to go for the engage onto Empti. Look at the damage coming out from Morose. That's a blink away from Empti, but now Morose is caught out. Could be pincered, but Shana is the one who actually drops. Didn't see how that happened, but TehAssid is the one who finds the killer. Now Morose in a 1 versus 3. He's been in this situation before, but he's not on the Grux. Going to turn towards Empti. He doesn't have the blink. It has to be the kill as Nyzah, the Fury of the Heavens, confirms on towards the Gideon. Nefty is here. ManQ, big seismic assault on towards Nefty. He's going to be ticking away with a time bomb, but it's not going to find the kill. Cabo is down, so is Nyzah, and Morose is going to find a shutdown on towards Neft. And now Shynn left alone with ticking down the sticky mine, leaving him to 80 HP. Just needs one more ability, but Shana's back. Shynn going to miss the Whiplash, and Morose forward crunch and a knock-up is going to find a kill. Now Shana trying to run down these members. The slow starting to stack, and Morose is going to drop for it, but Indecisive finding 3.
Indecisive finding 3. They're trading it for 3 as well on the other side of the map, but granted Shana went down beforehand, so it's a 4 for 3 in this fight. ManQ still getting chased by Shana. Severog did push out that off-lane, or the dual lane tower, I should say. Fangbooth has spawned, so has the mini prime. Hasn't been taken quite yet. So now the question is, where do both teams want to contest?
Well, looking for the options, as you say, we're both neutral objectives in play here. Looks like Indecisive are the ones who are going to start, Team Immune are going to start up the mini prime on this right-hand side, as Indecisive were the ones sitting on the full reset. All 5 members of Team Immune are over here as well, with the mini prime. Might even be given over to Neft as well, as there's no possible to contest, but look towards your mini-maps. Yeah, Neft is able to confirm the mini prime, but Indecisive pulling the trigger on the left-hand side, going towards this Fangbooth. Bondrewd is going to spot it, and Neft actually going for the reset, so they will be without the mini prime buffed up Wraith. I'm not sure if Team Immune really want to fight this, as that's going to be the Fangbooth secured for Indecisive. Maybe looking for some exit frags. We're going to land the Fury of the Heavens, but it's only onto the tanky members. Morose is here. Big double knock-up Stoneforge Soul coming out. Ultimate's flying. Black Hole, Tesla Dome. Body's not dropping just yet. Morose still leading the charge. Shana having to get away. Bondrewd on the retreat once again. Neft is here, but the fight might already have been over, and Bondrewd locked up by ManQ's seismic assault. Shynn hitting the Whiplash, but another knock-up from Morose cancels that and shuts him down. Team Immune losing 2 once again.
Team Immune goes for the play towards that mini prime, but instead of just saying, okay, we wasted our time there, we used our time to get that buff, instead they try to get both things. Like, that might work against worse teams, but against Indecisive that also know how to play the game to like an extremely good level, like, that's never gonna work. And with 2 people contesting that Fangbooth, that's just a recipe for disaster for them. Neft, as you mentioned, was in base. There was no way they could ever fight this, and with that, it's just a bunch of kills going over to Indecisive together with that Fangbooth.
And they are starting to close out that kill lead as well. And Morose, what a tournament this offlaner has been having for Indecisive, making the plays in his own lane and also rotating as well. ManQ as well, hitting these seismic assaults when they matter. Having such a rough start to the game, was 0-2 in the first couple of minutes. But now, in the last couple of exchanges, those seismic assaults have been death sentences to whoever is able to find. And Indecisive, once again, throwing back to game number 1, starting to play a lot better as a team, starting to come together, and those little combinations in between heroes starting to find their mark. But speaking of combinations, Shynn whiplashing Nyzah underneath Empti's Black Hole is going to be a one lethal combination, and Nefty is going to add his 5th kill of the game.
Get a good pick on the jungler, but no objectives up quite yet, so there's nothing really to be had for them. Lane's also not really in the best spot, so they can't push a tower either. So it is a nice kill for them, but in the end, it's the objectives that they're lacking in, especially those Fangbooth. Like, they got that mini prime, but couldn't really convert it into anything because it was so delayed, that first mini prime take, that the second Fangbooth has already spawned by that time, so they have to give that one up, as we saw earlier. So good pick on Kwang, but in the end, it doesn't really result into much more than getting that 300 gold kill bounty for themselves.
Yeah, and also the kill being picked up on towards Nefty as well. 5-1 and 2. Vanquisher, Mind Razor being picked up. Also got that crest unlocked once again, that Witch Stalker. Just to add even more damage and a bit more safety as well with that cleanse that it does provide. And especially with what Indecisive can provide in terms of the lockdown. Definitely going to be using it as well. And also Empti picking up his shield as well with his crest item.
Yeah, he's getting the Soul Bearer. He has the Orb of Enlightenment that is about to upgrade to give him a bunch of more XP. He pushing level 13 at this point. But Shynn and Empti looking into the red side. It's almost like they are ahead in the map right now. They still 2 kills up. So they're definitely not out of this game at all whatsoever. We saw their combo before. With the reset, they can get some really easy frags together with his Cure from the Richter. And then also just the damage coming out from the Wraith in general. But in the end, it's just going to be a bit of waiting for the Fangtooth to respawn.
Yeah, Shana pushing forward into that red side, as you say, but the warding coming out from Team Immune as well, as they're able to move into this jungle with so much confidence as well. All 4 wards have actually expired now as well, so they are going to be blanketed out in that map. But now Indecisive able to play in. And I want to highlight that as well about Indecisive. You could say that one of their biggest weaknesses is their ability to overextend, to maybe be a bit too aggressive in these plays. But, you know, with no neutrals down, Indecisive, apart from that pick on towards Nyzah, been quite respectful in that regard. You know, they're not pushing too far up. They're playing pretty cleanly, all things considered.
Playing pretty clean. Nobody overextending, yeah, as you mentioned. The offlaners are still on their lane. Crunch has first move, though, because he does win against the Sevrog at this stage in the game. So he does get the Cyan as well. We see Sevrog resetting. It's going to go back to the offlane instead of heading straight towards that Fangtooth. Gideon in the mid lane, one of the safer heroes. Like, even with the build-up of members of Indecisive, shouldn't be in too much trouble. But now we see Nyzah looking into the mid lane.
Right, so going to look for the Teva, going to look for the Surge as well, and Empti backing away, has got a Sticky Mine on top of him, but, you know, that's the tankiness. Also got True Silver Bracelet picked up. Bondrewd, Colossal Blows, Morose back away, but a forward crunch, Bondrewd back towards TehAssid, having to use the Phantom Rush, buying a bit of time, buying a bit of space. Now Empti's got to be careful, torn space away, Shana in towards 4 members, just going to get turned around, the Black Hole from Empti over the top, and that's going to be Indecisive, stuck inside the Microwave. The Testone getting so much return damage down, and ManQ is already out the fight. Shynn comes in with the Impale, but it's only going to be a 1-for-1. Team Immune lose Shana in that mid lane play.
Shana not having time to press the ultimate button, but they might not be over yet. Nyzah missing the Q onto the Richter, though. But Fangtooth is up. That is the big target. But Gadget gets hooked. It's going to get low. Shynn has to blink away. Cabodani follows, but doesn't get the kill. Nefty still on the tower. Is going to get sieged on. Nyzah hitting the Q. Cabodani following, forces out the blink.
Gonna have to get away. Bondrewd has returned though. Full HP, full mana. The Grim Reaper is back, trying to add some souls. Cabodani is far enough away. Empti actually getting the kill on towards Nyzah on the end, and just in time for Shana to respawn. Cabodani has been left with this Sevrog just hitting onto him, and Neft is the one who's going to take that kill. The Team Immune in prime position, finding 2 kills as Indecisive overstay their welcome.
They overstay their welcome, but TehAssid and ManQ full HP. The question is, can they stop the prime take? Shana is right there. It's going to be full HP, but Bondrewd is pretty low as well. Shana is going to walk into the pit. It's going to make sure that the smite at least is there.
Oh, Shynn actually taking the sides because Salt, so they will have to secure on this Fang if it does go their way. Taking that first one down. Tesla Dome starting to rip through some HP bars, and that's going to be Bondrewd out the fight, but TehAssid doesn't have a dash, doesn't have mobility. Going to be ran down by Shana on this Greystone. A good seismic assault coming out from ManQ. Looking to try and find another member, maybe looking for another pick. But Team Immune going to back away. Cost them 2 members, but they do secure their first Fangtooth.
They get the first Fangtooth, and they also get the kill on the Gadget. All in all, pretty decent for them. I think they overchased a tiny bit there towards the end. Maybe they could have played it a bit cleaner and maybe all got out. But with Shynn being so low, he just goes into the Gadget, tries to get her, at least trade his life out. Bondrewd also goes down to a good Microwave by the Gadget, by TehAssid playing that. But in the end, still a winning play for Immune. 14 and 11, 23 minutes in. Now the big prime is the next target for both teams.
You know, not actually going for that early all prime play as we saw in game number 1, as we just get a looking at the scoreboards. You know, Shana on this Greystone 4-3-3, but Neft is the one 7-1-1. Shynn wanting to add another kill into Shana's pocket. They found one on towards ManQ. The Bellica trying to run away, but Nefty is just right place, right time. 8, 1, and 3 on this Wraith. Nefty is absolutely terrifying, but Empties might be caught out here. The black hole was interrupted first. Morose just, simply just tanking up all the damage, doesn't really care that much. Cosmic Rift comes out empty with the taunt space, does buy himself a little bit of space. Now Morose is the one who has to be careful. Bondrewd here, Razorback popped, gonna have to back away. But Team Immune grouping up on that right-hand side, maybe looking towards a pick on towards Nyzah, as both junglers gonna meet up in this blue side, but Nefty is the one pushing on this tier 1 tower, starting to hit the damage as well. Underneath the tower, Shana is going to push Nyzah as way, and Nefty is able to take it away. He's going to look towards that Fury play, looking for a surge, but can't find it. Nef just shuts that one down, and Indecisive have lost their jungler.
They've lost their jungler, they're close to Prime as well, but we see Gadget rotating over, is gonna take a bit of damage. Shynn is gonna try to knock him out. Shana is also right there, and Gadget just gets deleted, but now Nef in a bad spot is gonna blink away. Morose engaging.
They have got the shutdown. Morose is going to be really enjoying the benefits of that gold and also looking to get another kill on the back. They take down the Team Immune jungler, but this fight's still not over. Shynn is here. Ripash onto Cabo. Good blink away. Sorry, good purge, but Empti with the black hole is even better, finding the damage. Cabodani is down, and so is the other member. Now Morose in a 1 versus 3. He's done it once. Can he do it again? He's going to take down Shynn. He's going to look towards Empti. Morose still alive. Bondrewd going low. Taunt space comes out from Empti. And Morose just follows it through. Bondrewd low. Empti low again. He's just hitting his abilities. Morose waiting for the opportunity. Goes up forward. Crunch knock up as well. Empti props the shield. Morose still fighting. Still looking for the damage. Not going to find it. Empti takes it down and outplays Morose in the blue side jungle. Nyzah is back off the spawn looking for a tether, but Subjugate says no.
Subjugate says no, he is not gonna take the teleport either, but what a play that was. 1 versus 3. Crunch almost clutches it. Morose just being a hit away from just getting the double kill right there to secure his 3 kill to 0, but a good engage by Indecisive, honestly, after Immune overextended a tiny bit towards that Quang on that off lane, but in the end, Immune just collapses. Empti with his sort of tanky build doesn't deal a lot of damage to Crunch, but at least he doesn't get one shot, and in the end of the day, it did work out for him.
Oh boy, I am so glad I've got multiple bottles of water next to me, because I think we're going to need them for this one. This grand finals has been an absolute treat to watch, and we're only in game 2. Immune having that priority, having that advantage for now, but we've seen some of these fights, we've seen what Indecisive can do, as well as they're looking to try and get that second game win. Grand finals really living up to the hype. Some resets coming out from both teams. Minion lanes have to be taken down. Lanes have to be pushed as well. We get another look at that scoreboard once again. Just having a look at a couple of items. 3 items deep there. TehAssid still working towards that core sticker to really deal the damage on towards Bondrewd and Shana with that Tesla. This gadget going to be scaling. Team Immune with the push. Not going to find the Riplash, but it's going to be Shana pushing forward on the Greystone. He's looking towards Nyzah, and if the Quang goes down, that might be the Primal Fangbooth going their way. TehAssid is here, but Empti follows through. Empti taunt space tears apart Nyzah, and that's the jungler down, and Nef is the one who deletes TehAssid. They're gonna lose jungle, they're gonna lose their Tesla Dome, and with the All Prime on the map, Primal Fangbooth spawning soon, this might be what Team Immune need.
This Neft guy has 4 items to Cabodani's 2 items. Like, the damage coming out from Immune at the moment is just insane. Now Morose gets his backstop. Bondrewd is just gonna follow up. Prime being started by Immune. ManQ is close by, so is Cabodani, but no jungler to be had. Neither is Gadget. ManQ is just gonna drop his drone, her drone in, but Bondrewd is zoning.
Cabodani, ManQ, the duo lane. This would be quite the hero play, but Team Immune can be securing the All Prime, but they might have been too far forward. A good use of the Phantom Glide from Cabodani to get away. He's able to get a kill on towards Empti, but it is going to cost him his life, and now it's Cabo down. ManQ following him once again. TehAssid and Nyzah are back up, but Team Immune running the show with the All Prime, and now they want to go for the double bubble buff. That Primal Fangtooth on the map, and looks like that's going to be the call.
Yeah, it might be the call, but it's a bit risky. Quang has a lot of entries into the pit with his ultimate. He can teleport to his sword and maybe steal it that way. So it's certainly not a safe call. And we see Nyzah being on the edge of the red side jungle, but Shynn is doing a good job zoning, making sure that Quang can't head in. Meanwhile, the Fangtooth must be getting lower and lower with Nefty dealing so much damage. It's the primal Fangtooth secured on 4 people, and 4 people have the prime buff as well.
Yeah, and Indecisive could only really watch there, looking at the scoreboard. Cabo and ManQ playing so well in that duo lane, but this is what happens when you poke the bear too much. Nefty is not happy, and he lets it know with his 11-2-4 stat line. 1-7 Cabo, 1-6 ManQ. Nyzah as well, just not finding the same impact. It's only Morose and TehAssid able to spare some of the blushes for Indecisive, but now with Team Immune, double bubble buff. They have the advantage. Primal Fangtooth, all prime buffed up as well. The purple hue and the fire in their hearts, looking to maybe push onto these objectives. Tier 2 towers all still standing for the side of Indecisive. They do have a slight buffer. The Team Immune going to start to push these lanes in and start to siege up.
They're starting to siege up. We see them play on 3 lanes at the moment, but Empti doesn't have the buff. No, and Nefty in the mid lane is gonna deal a lot of damage with that Fangtooth buff with 1 R&D connecting. It's almost half HP for ManQ. They're gonna collect a bunch of gold this way.
Yeah, and also just looking at Nef's build as well. Omen picked up the Demolisher, added to it as well. Empti's got himself a Caustica and a Megacosm, getting that pen, getting that burn damage. A light on his build once again. Tier 2 tower left-hand side. Drop Bondrewd, pushing in the right-hand side. Pretty clean, pretty standard stuff from Team Immune. They've been in this situation many times before, sieging onto their opponent's base. They want to even this up and give us a grand finals that this matchup certainly deserves. Nyzah has got the tether onto Neft. They can't commit to the Fury, can't commit the ultimate just yet, as this siege still keeps going. Right lane inhibitors taking damage. Mid lane going to be the next target. Empti pushing in the left hand side. 1-3-1 being played. Cabo just takes so much damage from the knock, and so does ManQ. Cabodani is actually down. The primordial blaze ticks over, and the ADC is gone.
The ADC is gone. Nefty pushing down the mid lane now as well, together with Empti and Shana and Shynn. They're just forcing them away. Shynn goes for the hook, misses just barely. Meanwhile, Bondrewd on the other side of the lane is gonna take that other inhib down as well. They're trying to get all 3 inhibs. Nyzah and Morose defending the core, but inhibs are lost course with Cabodani going down.
Yeah, still 25 seconds on the death timer. Immune starting to push in. Bondrewd has got a subjugate onto us. TehAssid, good blink away, but Shana's going to follow it back. The Gadget's the next target. There's the Tesla Dome over towards the ultimate. The black hole comes out from Empti. Shynn throwing down the Impale once again. They're trying to lock down these members, and they're going to find Nyzah. They're going to find TehAssid, and now they're going to look and try and find this core as well. Neft is free firing. Immune are all here, all 5 members for the family photo at the end. Morose doing what they can, padding the stats. Cabodani respawned, but it's not enough. We've got a grand final on our hands. Immune even up this series. It's 1-1.